Welcome back to the locker room. I am Captain Paul. That is Fajardo 1BW.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the Kadri signing. We're probably about a couple weeks late on this due to personal reasons, so just getting back in the swing. So Nazem Kadri signs a 7-year deal worth $49 million with the Flames. Whew. Before we get into the trade, were you shocked?
Well, you and I have gone over this not only on the show but personally conversing about it. That he definitely was gonna go after money this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm a little shocked of where he ended up. But I'm not shocked at the price tag. I'm not shocked at the price tag. Is he a $7 million a year player? I don't think I think he's a $5 million a year player, but in a league that's finding it tough to get depth as you groom these younger players, it's one of those things that he's a valuable asset, right?
Yeah, that is a fair point. But man, let's talk about it. Let's go.
Let's go.
31-year-old forward had 87 points last season. Calgary also trades Monahan to the Canadiens. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nazem Kadri signed a 7-year deal, $49 million with the Calgary Flames on Thursday. Well, this is not on Thursday. This is like August, I think 13th or August 18th.
Mm-hmm.
The 31-year-old forward scored 28 goals and set an NHL career high in assists with 59. Points in 87 and power play points in 29 and 71 regular season games for the Colorado Avalanche last season. He also tied his NHL career in 6 game-winning goals. So he had 87 points in 71 regular season games. That's phenomenal. That's a career year for him.
Yes.
Kadri also had 15 points, 7 goals, 8 assists in 16 playoff games. So he showed up in the clutch to help the Avalanche win the Stanley Cup for the first time since 2001. He scored the overtime winner in Game 4 of the final against the Tampa Bay Lightning, his first after missing 4 games because of a broken thumb. Kadri had this to say. Calgary was interested from day one, which was always something I've respected and acknowledged. It was definitely a tricky process, but there was some decision to be made. Obviously, I'm a Canadian boy, born in London, Ontario. I love the country of Canada, love the city of Calgary, and more importantly, the direction of the team. Really, when it boiled down to decision-making time, those were the aspects of signing with Calgary. Ultimately, it's about winning and about being a contender. And I feel that played a huge factor in me coming to Calgary. Just understanding the time is now, and it certainly could be close with the moves we made and me hopping on board. I'm just excited to meet the guys. So Kadri was picked by the number 7 pick in 2009 by the Toronto Maple Leafs. He has 512 points, 219 goals, 293 assists in 739 regular season games with the Avalanche and Maple Leafs, and 44 points, 19 goals, 25 assists in 52 playoff games. So it seems like he's always been a solid playoff performer when he can stay not suspended in the playoffs.
That's the key.
General manager of Calgary, Brad Treliving, had this to say: Nazem is a highly competitive top 6 player who makes our center ice position deep. He brings a high skill level and determination to our group, combined with his recent experience of a Stanley Cup championship. We look forward to welcoming Nazem and his family to Calgary and his contributions to our team's ultimate success. Calgary also previously tried to acquire Kadri for Toronto in 2019. The forward used the no trade clause in his contract to veto the trade. Oof. How things change, though. How things change.
I'm telling you, that dollar bill.
Dollar changed everything. Kadri was then traded to the Avalanche on July 1st of 2019. This is what Trey Living had to say. I think it's fairly well known that we trade for Nas back when he was with Toronto. He's got a unique combination of skills and snarl, and he plays a premier position at center ice. He's a unique player. He's got skill. I think watching him over his career, he's really developed the ability to play in all sorts of situations as guys do over their career. They mature. But that blend is unique. He can play on a power play. He can play heavy. He's highly competitive, highly skilled, smart player that plays center ice. He's our kind of player. We'll kind of throw this in here in this video. The Flames also traded Sean Monahan and a conditional first-round pick to the 2025 NHL draft to the Montreal Canadiens on Thursday for future considerations. He had a career worst 23 points, 8 goals, 15 assists in 65 games. The 27-year-old forward plays last game March 31st because of surgery to repair a torn labrum in his right hip. Wow, that's funny. I know all about that. But it was the second straight season Monahan had the same surgery. He also had wrist surgery after the 2016-2017 season and 4 surgeries, one on his wrist and groin, and 2 to repair hernias after being shut down near the end of the 2017-2018 season. The Canadiens' Ken Hughes, general manager, had to say, he sounds incredibly encouraged for the first time in a long time. He's going to play a season healthy. I don't know if it's going to be the game 1 of the season or it's going to be game 4 of the season, but I feel like he's even today, not 100%, way better than he's been in the last few years. And he was the number 6 pick in the 2013. I more want to focus on the Kadri, but I will say this: it is kind of a shame with Monahan because those injuries really have derailed his career. Yep. He was a very good prospect, a very solid player, but once you start getting very serious hip injuries, it's very hard to stay to that higher echelon.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's talk about it, man. Like, Hockey Reference, I kind of like the View better than Hockey DB.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, Kadri throughout his career is around high 40s, mid 50s score, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in Colorado, like the shortened season, 51 games played, 36 points, 56 games played, 32 points. Like, you know, maybe that's around 50, high 50s, maybe low 60s. But he had an absolutely bonkers year at the age of 31. 71 games played, 28 goals, and 59 assists, 87 points. This, in my opinion, isn't going to happen again. I don't think so. I just think that you go from a mid 50s type point guy, like in his 50s, to then like a 30, 40 point jump. That's kind of crazy. You know, he was playing with extremely good line mates, and he was, a solid player. And I think Kadri has a lot to, give for value as a second line center. But I don't see him repeating 87 points. I hope he does. I hope he does well for Calgary fans' sake. But I think if you're anticipating him to repeat this type of production, I think it's out of the scope. I mean, what are your thoughts?
You pretty much covered it when you said that. I don't think he's going to produce that. So one of the things that happens whenever someone wins a Stanley Cup, right? This is exactly what is going to be said about him. He brings that Stanley Cup pedigree. Mm-hmm. So let's just go ahead and nip that in the butt right now. He wasn't the main guy. He was a piece, but Stanley Cup pedigree, if he had like 2 or 3, I get it. But he got on a team. They went, it took a few years, and then they took it all away. Now, again, that was a 29, 30, 31-year-old. Now you're playing with the 30. You're going to play with a guy who's going to go into his 32nd year, 33, 34. Can he do the same thing? No. Age is always going to play a role, right? He's going to start slowing down. His reactions may dull here or there, whatnot. But let's be honest. I mean, I don't think he's going to be the same guy. I don't think. I mean, he's going to probably provide you good leadership, and you wanna have good leaders, and you want to have guys who are fresh off a Stanley Cup. Yeah, because they have an insight on what it took to build that team. But I don't think it's gonna be enough to say, hey, we're gonna put him in there and he's gonna carry the whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna be one of the top 6.
He's gonna turn 32 right before the beginning of the season, he's had some good years with Toronto. Kadri's fortunate because he's been in pretty good situations throughout his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talented players, talented situation. I'm not holding that against him, but let's not get it twisted and think this guy's an elite level center. I think he's a good second line center. This contract's overpaid. It's a little bit of an overpayment to me. This is what let's kind of go right into it. The Calgary Flames, they needed to get some type of replacement for some of the talent they lost. And I feel like they did relatively good on their deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's it might be a little bit of an improvement, but kind of a push with Calgary. But let's just look at this deal. They have 2.1 in projected cap space this season, so obviously they could fit it. Milan Lucic after this season comes off the book, so that opens up 5.25 million. So that's going to open up a lot of money, so the contract will hurt a lot less. I don't know. Let's just go to the depth charts here. You do slot in. The one thing we had a problem with, if you remember, was that we thought it was going to be hard for the top six to, to have that type of production. Right?
I honestly would reconfigure this, considering what they're bringing Kadri in and the type of player he is, and what Lindholm did and everything. I may even be as bold as to say switch Kadri and Lindholm. I think that'd be the only way that Kadri repeats any type of numbers near what he did last season. Just because Huberdeau is so much of a playmaker, and Kadri's always going to be like right in front of the net. I think that'll work.
But Kadri's game isn't really. He's not a finisher. He's not a sniper. Like, I'm not saying he can't finish, but that's not his brother.
Keep his stick on the ice.
Huberdeau
make it happen.
I think this is. I actually like this team more now. Like, we did our review. Obviously, I made this trade after our review or our preview of the season.
I definitely like this team a little bit better than when we did our review. 100%.
Yeah. Like, I think you have some nice pieces here. I think the defense is pretty solid. I think with the addition of Uyghur, but I also think with Lindholm, I think you keep him on the top line because you put him with Huberdeau. I think you could see like a Barkov effect, right? Like, where Barkov and Huberdeau fed off each other. Lindholm could feed off of Huberdeau. And I think with Kadri, I think you've got Magapani right there, right? Who had 35 goals, 20 assists, 55 points. Like, he had a career year. Maybe Kadri's passing can propel him. I just think they're going to need more out of that right wing on that line. Whether that's Blake Coleman, whether that's, a younger guy like a Dubé Dylan.
Right.
Dylan Dubé, I should say. It's going to kind of come down to that.
Well, one of the things we had gone over was Lindholm's performance last season. It's probably been it definitely was his best season since his first season with Calgary, right? And can he repeat it was one of the questions that we were asking. We didn't know if he could. Especially with all the pressure, especially top defensive pairs going against him. With Kadri being on the second line, I expect a lot of top defensive pairings to be kind of scrambled on which line to cover more, Kadri's or Lindholm's, right? Because that top line, there's a lot of offensive power. That second line can have a lot of offensive power if they find the right groove. But it's dangerous, especially with Kadri, and he's one of those guys that he's going to poke his nose everywhere. You don't want him to poke it.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I think this is an improvement that I think Calgary needed up front to stay with the scoring race with the Oilers. I think this is a help addition. I think it's a little bit of an overpay, but I can kind of get it in a division that the offense is so lethal for a lot of these teams. Kind of you need to keep up with the arms race. So anything else you have to add?
No, that's it, honestly.
All right, so let us know your thoughts down below of the Nazem Kadri signing. What did you think about him going to Calgary? Were you surprised he didn't sign for less going back to the Colorado Avalanche? Or, as Toronto fans would probably always ask, well, why didn't he come back to Toronto? You could ask that down below. We can have a discussion.
Why? Why would he go back to Toronto?
Did
you not see their goalie situation?
Yeah,
I have tears already. Let's just stop it.
So I'm Captain Paul. That's Fajardo. We appreciate you watching the video. If you could like, comment, subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. We're the Locker Room, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.